Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have the 2012 WWE DVD collection. These, of course, will be the non-pay-per-view releases throughout the year of 2012. So we do have a great selection here. So let's get into it with the best of Raw and Smackdown 2011. So before we do get into this, I'm not going to include any of the WWE studios, which I do not have them. That would include Bending the Rules, the No Holds Barred release, Barricade, which I don't have. So from 2010 through 2012, there was quite a bit of studio releases, which I do not have. Let's get back into this with the best of Raw and Smackdown 4-disc DVD set. When we get to 2010, you'll see why this was a 4-disc set, I guess. You know, they tried it out for a year. Maybe the sales weren't too high, so they combined both Raw and Smackdown into a 4-disc set. 2011 wasn't the greatest year. We did get the CM Punk pipe bomb. Edge retired in that year. So there was a lot going on here. Mr. McMahon relieved of his duties. Pretty cool this is the only 4-disc set of the Raw and Smackdown DVDs. You know, the annual release. It's also included a Falls Count Anywhere match during Miz's WWE title run. John Cena versus Rey Mysterio. Orton versus Christian in the summer of 2011. Steel cage. CM Punk versus Del Rio. We also had the return of The Rock, the retirement of Edge, CM Punk's pipe bomb, the explosive world title reign of Mark Henry. So 2011 was a pretty eventful year. Next up, one of my favorites, The Rock, epic journey of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And The Rock has always been a favorite of mine. This is the complete biography on the great one. We also got never before seen interviews and career spanning matches. So I thought they did a really good job on this one. You know, started with $7 in his pocket, joining the WWE. Very good documentary, of course. And then we have a lot of The Rock's greatest matches here. Versus Austin, Mankind, Triple H. Some stuff from his debut. SummerSlam 2000 main event. Some tag team matches on Raw. Matches with Flair, Lesnar, Hogan. Yeah, The Rock, he's always been, his DVD sets have always been pretty good, in my opinion. And then we got the Edge documentary. So this was a pretty good year for docs. You Think You Know Me, the story of Edge. And again, we got the first biography of the Rated R Superstar. You know, Edge was always a favorite of mine, so this was actually one of the first DVDs I got when, you know, starting my collection 5-6 years ago. Maybe that'll be a video I can get into one day. So, not the best match selection on here, but this is an awesome digipack, you know, fantastic documentary. About 7.5 hours. And one of my all-time favorites, another one, Clash of the Champions, best of WCW's Clash of Champions. Of course, we got Sting, Flair from the first Clash. You got Hogan and Flair. Stunning Steve Austin. So this is a really nice set. You know, just various shots We got Rick Rude and Sting, Flair and Savage. You also got Guerrero and Jericho there in a match. Ric Flair versus Terry Funk. Just filled with really good matches. Then we got the first installment of the ECW Unreleased Sets. You got, looks like Douglas and Bam Bam on the cover. These are really cool to go back and watch. You know, I definitely got to get the Blu-rays eventually, but there's, you know, some serious stuff going on right now, so not sure if I'll be getting any more DVDs at this point in time. And this one was 7 hours. It seems like on the match comps you get a little bit lower runtime than the documentaries. So definitely recommend these ECW DVDs. I do have a couple packages on the way, but that might be the end of it for a while. Falls Count Anywhere. This is the Blu-ray. I only have it. And this is some of the greatest street fights in history. Not really the greatest, but it's a fun watch. Good match selection. And for those interested, we'll take a look at the exclusives. Yeah, Mankind vs. Santa Claus, Triple H vs. Sheamus, Mysterio vs. Cody Rhodes, Orton vs. Kane, Triple H and Cactus Jack, Mr. McMahon vs. Ric Flair, Sting vs. Cactus Jack. We've got the fully loaded strap match between Triple H and Triple H and Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam. It's a good match selection, just a oddball DVD. And we got The Streak, 20-0. This was always a favorite of mine going back. And, you know, having all of Undertaker's matches on Blu-ray, it was really cool. It comes with what they call a documentary. I wouldn't even call it that, since it's all done through kayfabe and just kind of highlighting all the matches. But this is one you definitely want on the Blu-ray. It's Undertaker, all his early days, because that goes back to WrestleMania 7. Top 50 finishers in WWE history. This is an okay watch. It not my favorite or nothing, you know, but it's a fun watch. You got Batista, Kane there, Orton and Slaughter. Yeah, this is like really cool. No match listing or nothing, but yeah, you know, I guess you could figure out which finishers are on here just from all the listing here. Then on the back you got, you know, Spear, figure 4. You got Bret Hart there. And 5.5 hours of bonus matches, so not bad. Rock vs. Cena, Once in a Lifetime. I always found this to be quite an underrated DVD set. This is a good DVD set to have. I thought it's well put together. The artwork is, you know, decent. And, you know, this is a pretty big feud there that happened in 2011, 2012, and even into 2013. But I thought it was a cool DVD set to include pretty much everything they did on TV and whatnot, including the press conferences and the final match. So this is a DVD set worth getting. You could probably find it for $5 or something like that. It's a guilty pleasure DVD of mine. Next up, Best in the World. Some may consider this one of the greatest DVDs of all time. And it is. Maybe one of the best documentaries. I'm not sure about DVDs overall. I always felt like in their documentaries, their match selection wasn't the greatest. And the match selection here is not the greatest either. But you're buying this one for the documentary. Fantastic artwork. You know, CM Punk was a very colorful guy. And yeah, over 30 minutes of interviews, stories, and more. Only a 7-hour runtime, pretty weird. But yeah, it's a very good documentary, a good DVD set to have. Then we had the Return of Lesnar in 2012. So they released the 3-disc set of the Here Comes the Pain DVD, the original documentary from, of course, 2003. So they repackaged it as a 3-disc set and threw on some of Lesnar's greatest matches. Definitely buy this one. You know, this is another underrated set that, you know, a lot of people might pass up on, but, you know, you're going back all the way to July of 2001, and you're getting a lot of his good matches from, you know, 2002, 3, and 4, plus the documentary, and when he returned in 2012. The documentary is only about an hour, so, you know, but you could probably find most of those matches on other DVDs. You know, they are a lot of pay-per-view DVDs, so yeah, give it a watch. It's, you know, one of my favorites. Lesnar's always been a favorite of mine. NWO, The Revolution, you know, probably another guilty pleasure DVD of mine. It's not the greatest set, but it's one I've always enjoyed watching. So yeah, they have somewhat of a documentary. It's, again, not the greatest, but just some of these matches are really fun to go back and watch. So yeah, they did release, you know, an NWO years prior, which the documentary is probably better than that. Then we would get the first volume of the Attitude Era. I love this cover, absolutely. And this is one of those sets I need a new copy of. You know, it's been through a war. Again, they did a somewhat documentary on here. It's really weird how the documentaries kind of went from really good to excellent to, you know, the greatest of all time into really crap with the NWO and the Attitude Era. But again, you're buying this one mainly for all the crazy stuff of the Attitude Era, with DX invading WCW, Bedpan McMahon, one of my favorites of all time. Yeah. That little bang you hear on McMahon's head is just absolutely classic. Then we got Rock, This Is Your Life. Again, only about 7-hour runtime. Then we had Raw 100, again, one of my favorites. It's absolutely incredible. Top 100 moments in Raw history. Then we also get a really cool Blu-ray exclusives, Raw 1000. This is a really cool set to have. Before we get into the last one, there is a couple worth mentioning. And those are the Superstar Collection DVDs. I don't have them all. I probably never will. These are ones I pretty much found for like $1, $2. We got Orton, Daniel Bryan, Zack Ryder, and John Cena. They also got, I believe, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, Shawn Michaels, and Sheamus. So I probably won't get those anytime soon. And finally, the best pay-per-view matches of 2012. This is probably the smallest of the sets with a, I think, 6.5-hour runtime. So there wasn't much going on in 2012 in terms of excellent matches. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 matches throughout a 3-disc set. I love the packaging on this, and, you know, of course, there's good matches on it. And there we have it. If you have any of these in your collection, comment down below some of your favorites from 2012. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.